Hi, my name is Johnloyd Gabriel. I verbally accept my nomination for membership chair. The term membership chair has lost its true meaning. As membership chair, I believe it's far more than just about the audience, but the whole experience as a member impacts. From the moment you fill out your AKA form to get picked up, to becoming an actor Kuya, to attending Gen meetings, going to socials, and overall being an active Gen member. It's not called audience chair, it's called membership chair for a reason. That's one of the foundations that holds PAC together daily. That's the reason I want to run for membership chair, to not only find new homes and connections for incoming audience, but to introduce them to the great things PAC offers. Most importantly, to highlight that it's not just about AKA, but the whole experience PAC can become. Back in high school, I was serving as a student board member, as well as the student body president, representing over 20,000 students. In similarity, I have paired groups of students who will work well together for school events, which mirrors one of the main jobs of this position, pairing audience with their out-there kuya, which share the same common qualities. I've gained leadership skills, professionalism, and knowing what it's like to work in an organization, work with a team, and most importantly, work with passion. Given this opportunity, I would like to not only even out the count of the families and to find ways to make all the families active, but most importantly, to connect the families together. While PAC is divided into 4 respective families, PAC is still one main family. But lately, I feel like at times we lose that, and it's become harder to meet other members within the club. Which is why I want to go above and beyond in hopes to strengthen the bond between academics, culture, philanthropy pillars with membership during competitive months as well. In highlighting that PAC is more than just a social club, that by being a member you can find other importance within it. Beyond that, I would like to further bond all of PAC, which includes PCN, even PAC Modern. Not to only pair buddies within board and cabinet, but to truly create relationships and start relationships with all of PAC with its entirety. Steps I have in reaching this goal is by creating what you call fan heads, also known as fan representatives. With this, they can help communicate with their respective families, spreading events and information out faster and more efficiently. As a member who did not have an active out-there kuya this semester in PAC, it was hard to put myself out there as a newly picked up audience, which prevented me from being more involved in PAC. That's why I want to take on this role, to be given the opportunity to pair newcomers with their new families, but to also maintain relationships with audience. So in cases they are paired with someone not as active as they hope, they can still go to events not scared. Why? Because I'll be there. Being a member of PAC is not defined. I want you to experience it the way you want to, where you have the most interest, benefit, and fun in. I wanted to fill this role with a passion for all members in this club, those who are returning and those who are new. If I shall be your membership chair, I don't only want to be there for you when you get picked up, but I want to be there for your whole journey as a member of PAC. Whether you're here for the social aspect, the culture, or for a good cause, or for all of it, I want to be there for you. I want PAC to become a club that you see fit, not only what is seen on the outside. Most importantly, just because you have been paired with an out-there kuya, I don't want it to stop you from meeting the rest of your family in PAC. Because ultimately, we're all each other's kapatid, siblinghood. My name is Johnloyd Gabriel, running for membership chair. Thank you.
Alright, now I'll open it up to questions. Anyone have any questions? Go ahead, Joe.
Alright. Who are your past 3 predecessors and name something significant they did? Name your past 3 predecessors and name something significant about this year's membership chair that you liked. Yeah, that you liked.
Do you want me to include the current one or like before hers?
The current one's good.
Current one? First one, the current one is Danica, and then after Danica, before Danica was Justine, and then Kevin. And then one significant thing they did, Danica did as membership chair this term, was that she was able to make a committee, and while not being in a position as membership chair, she allowed Gen members, especially PAC turns, to help her out with pairings and other things like AKA. Not only was she able to do that, she allowed me to be a part of that as well. For spring, she allowed me to be a part of her committee, so I got to see an insight of what it's like to pair people, come up with the dances, and pair people with the dances as well. and also stay late at night and help out with the posters, and then work with like the actual Venom AKA.
Alright. Give us an example of an icebreaker and a possible AKA theme.
Is there a specific one you want me to go first?
Do icebreaker first.
Icebreaker?
Yeah.
One icebreaker that I think would be pretty cool, which I think is more traditional, but I feel like it suits PAC, is I think one that you usually do is like a bring me. So I feel like it adds more of like a traditional and adds culture aspect to the icebreaker, which ties in other pillars within into it, because you're seeing the culture of like not just the game, but because it's something that's often done in traditional family parties. Another one I could add on to that would be like sing-alongs. So you have like a specific word, and then you would find someone to like find a song that starts with it, to incorporate how like a bunch of Filipinos are known to like have karaoke nights and like sing along to a bunch of songs. And
then the other one is just give us a possible AKA theme.
a possible AKA theme that I really thought of is, I don't know if you guys know the movie called Ready Player One. So this is something I thought about really well, is that first starting off with decorations would be like separating the fans within, of course, with their colors, and having the game characters with that significant color with those decorations for the posters. The families would become like planets, because in the movie each game had their own planet, and the fans would become planets. And so the players or the audience would be known as players, but to their perspective, they're player ones, because in PAC we're one family. There's no other levels within it. And to further go beyond that, as a player within the game, you have to level up. So the main aspect of the storyline for AKA is how the player, the audience, are there to find their families, where they find a home in, who can also potentially become their lifelong teammates, their family. But as a player, you want to keep experiencing new things, leveling up as a player. So to do that, you want to promote by attending gen meetings, going to socials, and being an active member so you can continue leveling up as a player in PAC. Yes.
Okay. Another question is, what are your non-negotiables as membership chair?
I think one of my non-negotiables, as I think I mentioned in my speech, is I don't want to just be there for you, like introduce you to PAC. I want to be there that's someone who's consistent and being there for you, not just as you get picked up as an audience, but when you become as a member of PAC in general. And then another thing, a non-negotiable, is definitely still trying, like what Danica was trying to do, was still trying to even out the fans, because I feel like it's kind of unbalanced right now. There's certain families that are more active than others, and one of the things I want is all of PAC, all of the families to be together. Because I feel like, as someone who didn't who has experienced families that aren't active with other ones, I feel like it should be fair for audience who are really coming to PAC, that just because that you got put in a family that's not active, it should prevent you from being active in PAC. So having that whole thing, like all the families together, all active, is definitely another non-negotiable for me.
I'll go Garen and then Rakeem after.
In your speech, you had high ambitions for closing gaps within PAC, PCN, etc. But there have been many different attempts at this. What would you do that differs you from different previous membership chairs?
I think what I would do is definitely, the main thing is to not give up, because it takes time. You know, I feel like it's not something that you can just easily do and like it's gonna happen right away. I feel like at times where like if you implement something, you have to implement it the whole time. You can't just say I'm gonna do it now, and then it's only been a few months and then it's not working and you already give up. You know, if you're really committed to something, like with the family representatives, that's something I really want to implement, because I think it would be a really good idea. You know, I want to implement that the whole term of my time that I'm given, if I am given this opportunity, and not give up on it. Bless you. And not give up on it, because with the fan heads, like that one thing, that idea I have is, it also gives gen members an opportunity to be more involved in PAC without being a CAB member, if you become a representative of your family. Because to be a representative, of course, you want to like PAC, you want to be involved in PAC. It's something you like to do. And it just gives you another way to be more involved, and so I can spread out more information faster, and so they can be their own voice for their family and then reach out to me. So definitely not giving up and sticking to it.
Hakeem, and then VM members.
Okay, so as a membership chair, AK is oftentimes like your biggest event, and knowing that you're coming in as a second year, and you haven't really seen both sides of the spectrum, meaning like you've only been in audit, you haven't been through it yet, how do you plan to tackle this possibility?
Can you say the last part again? It was
So
kind of harder.
like, how do you plan, it's like since you haven't been like through it yet, how do you plan to like ensure that your pairings are like one, very strong, and two, how do you plan to like kind of take a 180 perspective almost, just because you're coming from being like an audience to like being a lead, so yeah.
I think most importantly is that like, I think I want to get across that, like, as I also said in my speech, is that just because you haven't paired with someone doesn't mean you're stuck with them. Something I also learned through talking with Danica, her membership chair, is you can't satisfy all of PAC, but as long as you satisfy everyone. And then one way that I can like work, not like work around it, but work through it, is how like, even though I don't have my own audience, and as a membership chair, you're pairing your own audience. You're pairing audience with Apis and Cleas. I think I've, like with the experiences I've had back in high school of me pairing people to work with certain events, gives me that aspect of being able to pair audience with common qualities together. Also being able to experience being part of a committee, having a small touch of what it's like to do that, and having Danica there, who's also been helping me out and seeing what it's like to do it. I feel like is what really helps me like make sure that I'm not steering away from what the goal is, which is for the audience. The AKA is for the audience, it's for the newcomers. And I feel like also finding a balance that like, let's say like an outdoor Kuya wants something, I would prefer going for what the audience wants, because it is for them, what AKA is.
Okay. And then VM.
You said you're gonna implement like the
Fam heads, like representatives.
how are you gonna choose those people?
I feel like when we let's say like we've all done AK, like we've all been there. I feel like what I notice is once we go to our own like dance circles, there's always a few that always end up taking control of that dance circle. Those are people that are passionate for it. Like they're the ones that, okay, after this person goes, this person's gonna go next. Because in AK, like let's say like past, like Danica never really assigned someone to be like designated to take control of each specific family. And like just scouting at those people that have been showing effort, not because they have to, but it's because they want to, is a good way of say offering them a job, not like a job, but like offering them a position that like, is this something that you want? Like you're kind of already doing it, but you're just getting a title for it. And then it gives you more opportunities to be more involved in PAC, because then you can communicate more directly to PAC. Well, to me specifically, if I was membership chair.
Do you mind if I just add on to that
Yeah.
question? So if like you're technically giving them a title, but they're not under like the typical like CAB rules and requirements, how are you gonna make sure they uphold the accountability and the responsibility that you give them?
I feel like that would be something that that can go under membership chair. As let's say like for example, when Danica had a committee, that's touching onto like personal stuff within the club. It would go something more like that as well. It would add it onto within the committee aspect of it.
I saw Rochelle and then Garen.
Going into membership chair without having audings, you may find that you want certain audings for yourself, but you know that they will pair better with other bigs or that they will request them. How are you going to handle this given that you are in control and your first audings are really what make or break your experience?
I feel like, honestly, how I explained it is, I'm not doing this position so I can control what audience I have. I'm doing this position so I can provide audience experience that they want and that they want impact. I want audience, that's why when I look at the forms, even if I think it's something that they want to do with me or that they match with me, if I find someone better than that, even though I want them to be my audience, I will give them to that other person. Because this position is about me taking control of who I'm giving it to, or giving it to me, or favoriting like the audience that I want. I want the audience to get the best experience they can impact. That's what the whole position should be about.
And then, Garen, you have a question? No?
Over the course of Capitates Month, how will you work in a team of 4 people in the case that they may fail to communicate with you effectively?
Can you say that first part again?
Over the course of Capitates Month, how will you work in a team of 4 people, in the case that they may fail to communicate with you effectively?
I think that's something that can definitely be planned, definitely ahead. Like months, it's something that we know is gonna come in, and it's something that I really need to communicate and like put in together if within the within the pillars that get elected. It's something that should be talked about beforehand, and it's something. And I feel like would be a really good thing is like having scenarios where something doesn't go wrong. There should be already something that's planned for backup, which prevents for something like for last minute things from going on. So if you already have those backups, it will be like just go into resolving onto like what else you can do. Because you already brainstormed it with the team, you already have the solutions. But even if it goes beyond that and those solutions don't work out, even though it's for the pillars are in charge of it, you have the rest of CAB. And I feel like CAB should be supporting you as well. And if the pillar is not something that they don't want to communicate with me, that's not something that I can really take control of, but it's something that I can ask for within CAB for more support and fill in their place. Because as long as I know I'm doing my job, I can't control how other people do their job within CAB.
Last question, open to general public, we'll go to Jason.
I'm going to drift in a little bit different direction, and I'm going to talk about another event that we do host. I'm going to give you a hypothetical. Say you are hosting Fan Bonfire, everything is going well, and then you notice people who aren't from this club trickling in. How will you handle this situation in order to ensure the safety of the general members while also maintaining a calm composure and not scaring the gen members around you?
I think definitely knowing what the situation is, we gotta know that even though it's a bonfire, we're also in public, so it's not something we can fully take in our control. I feel like that honestly the scenario that happened was that last bonfire, what kind of happened was that people did start trickling in, and so we had to end up closing it early because it started to become more the general public instead of just PAC. And a way to do that is not even just me, being looking at a lookout, make sure nothing's wrong, but also for CAB as well. I feel like it's something that's a responsibility that's shared within all of CAB because you're watching over all the gen members.
John, this question for you. So part of being membership chair is also being like a general CAB member, and that means like you're working on a team, obviously. And so throughout the semester, throughout the year, there are things that are bound to go wrong. So can you list me like 3 qualities about yourself, and then explain how they would apply and how you can mitigate that?
Is that like go wrong more like in an event or like go wrong more within CAB?
Well, like not within CAB, like in terms of an event or if something happens, like there are things that are bound to go wrong. And so I just want to know like what are 3 qualities about yourself that would kind of benefit cabinet in terms of tackling this problem, and then explain how it applies.
I feel like the first quality is definitely professionalism. I feel like within CAB, mostly everyone in CAB. But I feel like once you take on this position, there's a difference between being in a room doing stuff with Cav and being outside hanging out with friends. I feel like once you step in as professionalism, nothing should be taken personally. It should be criticized, and it should be, and which is another thing, another quality that I have, is being able to take in criticism. Because even though I do feel like I'm suited for this position, I want to take in the criticism and grow more from it, because I want to keep growing as a person. So one is being professional, and one is being taking in criticism, and also even being able to give it back. And another one would also probably be being responsible for it. Knowing what this position lies, not even lies, but knowing what being in CAD means. It holds a big responsibility, not just for working together, but this is a whole club organization, one of the biggest ones you're taking care of.
And then last question will be coming from Danica. So how would you make yourself known to not only all the newbies, but to the returners that are not familiar with you?
I feel like that one is something I thought about a lot, because I'm definitely coming to PAC more unknown. Like I wasn't as involved, and then this semester I'm putting myself out there more. And I think honestly, an honest answer to that is just attending more events, and not being attending more events, being more social. I feel like me being a PAC turn, I took a step into that. And overall, just being a general member, in general, is taking the risk to go out there and putting yourself out there more. Because if you're not out there, no one's gonna see you. And if you're not out there, no one's gonna know who you are. And the more you put yourself out there, the more people get familiar with your face.
Great. Thank you.